Okay.
We all have audio now. Hooray. Okay. From the San Diego of the Midwest, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Bowie, Maryland, this is Behind the Bots, the podcast that brings you the stories of the people behind the bots. I'm Jake,
I'm Brandon.
and we have audio for Brandon now. And today on the podcast, our interview with Chainsaw Kitty builder Kezia Skye. We'll wrap up the show with this week's installment of Robots Around the World. If you like our show, please rate us and review us on Apple products, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Player FM, and Podbean. Follow us on Facebook at Behind the Bots, and tell a friend. We appreciate your support. And yes, usually we're live here without any technical difficulties ever. And you know, it's a flawless streaming experience. So Brandon, you're one of the oldest builders in the sport. You know, how did you start building robots? Yeah.
The uh, Robotic Electronics Museum, or RoboFest, which is based out of Linthicum, just outside Baltimore, where the fine folks who host NERC actually had a demo for a sportsman robots that they kept in their old school 8x8 cage, and they brought them to fight there. I remember seeing them, and I thought, "Oh, this is it. This is my chance." I remember fighting their robots there, like demoing for a while, beating people up with them. It was great. And then after they gave me some information about their club, I was able to go compete at the Franklin Institute in 2010 in Philadelphia, way back when. I remember the very first robot I made was a wedge bot called Wedge of Destruction, which was made out of a classic BattleBots Biohazard toy as a 3-pound robot, which I got off of, or I got the idea and inspiration off of via the Team Runamuck team. They post like a guide they made early 2000s about like a BattleBots toy too. Made that robot, fought that robot against the original Weta kits way back when Peter Smith was first making them from Kitbots. Got immediately destroyed. But ever since then, I was like, okay, it's time to do more of this. And so just about every year since then, I've been competing at robot events, mostly in the East Coast, a couple times traveling across the country, outside the country, and have just been fighting generally the 1 pounds, 3 pounds, and then 12 pounds a little bit of touch, and 30 pounds as well. And then at roughly the time that NHRL started getting bigger, I remember in my case it's about 2021-ish was my first event. I realized in February of that year with Demogorgon that I wanted to fight bigger robots on the beetle weights because there's tons of beetle weights, and I wanted to try them out first, but I also knew the 12s are more open because at that point it was like 6 robots, so far cry from today, and I could just like fight them easily. And then the next event, so March 21, so I brought Phenomenon, and so people probably recognize the machine over there. Can't actually, it's not on the screen anymore. But Phenomenon's been the longest running machine I've had in my staple. It's been about 5 years of consistent evolution on the one robot. And then even in that time frame, I've done lots of different ideas, like Fracus was a suplexing robot. Vorion is the sort of next iteration of Phenomenon, sort of a derivative, sort of tree branching out from there. And then I've just been fighting robots everywhere I can. The California, Florida, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, all that kind of places, even the UK once, and probably try to fight robots in other places as well again. Robots are just really, really cool, and they have been the guiding force of why I went into engineering, and also how I escaped engineering. So robots are nice, and I'm gonna keep fighting them as long as I can, until we reach like Brandon Bennett old.
So the Vorion has kind of, I think we're both kind of lucky individuals in that we have that robot that is like completely tied to ourselves, and Vorion is that robot for you, and Phenomenon and Vorion is that for you. How did that archetype, you know, how did you come to that, and like how did you end up there?
So fundamentally, the thing I want out of my robots is I want to be able to control the match in the way I want it to.
Hmm.
The way I view my robots is instead of like a excuse me, I need water. Instead of thinking them as like some sort of other entity, I like to think of them as like a limb.
Okay.
So like if I'm using my arm here and I'm like maneuvering my hand around to like do stuff, my arm can't do anything besides my brain tells it to do a thing. And that's how I know that I'm able to accomplish something. So I like to think of my robots in the exact same way. But in order to do that, I realized I had to have a robot that was able to, one, corral, because I need to be able to control my opponent. I've learned, even before NHRL, through the great and powerful Big Ripto, some of the old heads might know, from the Motorama days at NERC. Kyle Singer made that robot. Very, very dominant machine. I loved how it was wide enough where it could sort of control most machines. But next to that, I wanted to do an evolution of it because I knew that Ripto, powerful as it is, was still beholden to how well its narrow disc could hit something. And namely, the way it can hit that disc is only going up the wedge into the bar. And so I thought, okay, well, if I can take the wide controlling body of a two-wheel drive vertical spinner with its very simple layout, direct drive wheels, pretty simple pulley system and weapon, then I can allow other machines to get into the body of it. But then I realized, wait a minute, my robot still has a problem where it can, one, face planted, which sucks. Vorion did that in its very first event in June 2023 against Yahoo. Never forget it. Traumatized me ever since. And its hoops, as cool as they were, actually became an issue as a result of it. And so since those events onwards, I was trying to evolve the robot to a point where I could self-right pretty easily, maintain the ability to keep attacking you. But even more than that, I realized that fundamentally, I still loved my little biohazard toy from over a decade ago at that point. I love little lifters, love lifting robots. And so I thought, oh, if I have all this weight, because Vorion's only like 22 pounds, or 20 up to 25 pounds, if I take everything off of it, super duper lightweight, great to base it off of, I can add a lifter to it and add a lifting system. So now I have a lifter, which I get that control bot love out of it, and a spinner. And when you think about it, a spinner is just a very good flipper that just engages things very, very rapidly. So if I can just like kick them up, and then I can use the lifter to reposition myself how I want to hit them, I now have another level of control in how I want to address my opponent. So now I don't have to think, well, I'm bound by their geometry to my geometry, and like, well, they get stuck in the wall, the blades are so high off the ground, X, Y, and Z. Now it's like, well, I don't like where you're sitting on the ground right now. I actually want to hit your base plate. I'm just going to use like a skill crane, or like a lifter crane, I guess, lift you up and then gore the bottom out with a spinner. And that sort of iteration and simplicity really came out of the inspiration of Big Ripto in the first place, but at the same time wanting to evolve it in a more controlling sense. Because there are so many different times where I've gotten into a fight, and I've been annoyed by the idea of just like back off and run away. I want to be able to like run into them and then do whatever I want to make sure I can break them as accordingly. And especially if the spinner gets damaged in some way, lifter's a good backup too. And so that methodology of being a control bot fundamentally, but then having the ability to create damage with the spinner, has been the really sort of the defining archetype that I like to take out of my robots ever since. And all of the ones all the other robots I've made out of it, still generally speaking, have that same DNA built into them in one way or another.
That's cool. So you're talking about constantly evolving your robots, and yeah, even though Vorion has kind of maintained the archetype, it is a robot that comes back different every time. Every event something is new on it. How do you and this is kind of a question that I had for the NHRL staff is how do you prioritize your changes, and kind of what motivates you when you're picking your priorities?
Ah, yes, that's a good one. So when I'm thinking about what I want to change on Vorion, I like to think about what variable has more than one effect in what it's trying to do.
That's cool.
So, like for example, Vorion used to have just like a little arm that went on top of it to sort of poke itself back, but then changed it to a lifter, because now instead of having a lifter, instead of just like a little pokey arm, now it changes the two ways of how it interacts with somebody. Now it's a defensive lifting mechanism in that it can self-right itself accordingly. But now it's offensive, now it's a lifter. So now it's two different things affected by the one change. And I like to think of that same iteration style with everything else in the robot. Most recently, let's see, Phenomenon, since it's the same base idea. Most recently, Phenomenon moved that lifting system into the body in addition to its hub motor stuff. The hub motor is supposed to be a closer one-to-one, generally speaking, because the hub motor, though it's still a spinner, now frees up more weight and space to other stuff like the lifter or batteries or whatever I need to do inside the robot. And so now it's affected more than one output at the same time. But it's never fundamentally changing how I want to construct the robot. And construct's the big thing. Because I may interact with you differently with a lifter versus just a poker and like a wedge. But the construction of the robot remains consistently the same. So now it's like a manufacturing line trying to make it. Every time I try to think about how am I going to make this update to the robot, I never think about how I'm going to wire it or how I'm going to like manufacture it. That's all roughly the same. Mm-hmm. It is just the one or two parts that I get to super optimize. And as they get more optimized and they then affect other things, generally speaking, to magnify it. And that kind of priority means that as I evolve the robot over time, I'm never having to think too hard about what I'm going to change on it. Just the thing I want to change about it, to where it becomes automatic. I remember there was like haven't verified if this is a totally true statement or something like that. I remember there was an anecdotal sharing on the internet of like Einstein used to enjoy wearing like roughly the same getup every time he goes somewhere, because that means that his brain's never thinking about how he's getting dressed. He's thinking about how he's going to do the next thing he needs to worry about. Yeah. Like if he's thinking about relativity, he's not worrying about, oh, is this shirt going to look good with these pants? It's like, no, I'm going to wear the Einstein fit, and therefore the brain's going to just keep chugging away in relativity until it gets a Nobel Prize for it. That kind of a thing, but for a robot.
When I design stuff, I have to have it fit on. Like if I don't have the fit on, like it's not happening. Like
Ripper drown,
Yeah, you gotta have that fit that locks you in, like Einstein.
Yeah, and Jake Maximizer, Einstein, one and the same.
Same thing. Well,
same thing.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're just different decade, man.
Cool.
Same soul.
Cool. That's cool about Vorion is one of those robots that has more options than just the weapon, and I think that gets it a lot, and it makes it cool to watch too. Like
Thanks,
Jackalope,
man.
Someone should make a chainsaw kitty with a lifter. That would be pretty good.
Imagine.
I'd enjoy that. That might be fun to watch.
I think so too. Might be a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe
so
call it apricot or something.
Apricot.
Maybe call it apricot or something
kitty.
Random. Yeah. Make it orange and put a traffic cone on the top. Yeah.
I like it. Very spring, very fall. Yeah. I like it. Good ideas going on here. Yeah. So I guess a question to go back with you, Jake.
Yeah.
To sort of to reverse the interview a little bit.
Yeah.
So first of all, just going to start with the top and work our way back down.
Yeah.
So how did you first say your journey into BattleBots NHRL begin?
So I did my undergraduate in mechanical engineering technology because I'm not so good with the math. So I substituted my math classes for welding, machining, and manufacturing courses. What that got me was a senior design project doing, they called it BattleBots Senior Design Project. And I was on a team with Henry Tran and Joe Murphy, and we locked in and we built a 15-pounder called Doomba. And let me tell you, it was a horizontal. I'll have to get pictures of it, but the whole design was a tombstone, but I molded a UHMW shell around the outside, and that was like the coolest thing to me. I really fell in love with it. It was kind of 3D printing was kind of my thing in high school. I went to a really small private high school. And there was only like 60 kids in a class. And so there wasn't like a massive engineering presence or engineering opportunities. But they did like start a makerspace when I was there. And we had access to laser cutting and 3D printing. And I kind of fell in love with that like tinkering aspect, being able to and I remember telling my teacher this. It's like I can have an idea in my head, and then I can make that thing real. And like that cycle was like very addicting for me. I kind of lost that through COVID. Just mental health, and I'm sure everyone kind of experienced like some loss of interest. But combat was the thing that kind of brought me back from that. And it's like, okay, I can have something to tinker on again, and kind of, a love project. Like Max is my love project right now, always has been. And so having that love project in my life, since Doomba has been really cool. So it was my senior design project. After my senior design project was over, I wanted to come back to grad school, and kind of at the same time, Dr. Dong, who was my thesis advisor, was kind of like, can you build up the club a little bit? And so that summer, we kind of developed the idea that we could onboard students who were not senior design students. Because the problem with the senior design model is that kids were doing their projects and then they would leave. I was a rarity because I was coming back to grad school, and so it was an opportunity to not have someone do the project and then leave. So basically, I started a club as someone who had no experience, and that is what it is. And in that way, I found a lot of exposure to new designs very quickly. I was exposed to a lot of stuff. I had to be critical of a lot of stuff as I was like designing stuff for myself, but also working with students. I didn't have one robot that I was working on. I wasn't just working on Doomba 12 when I debuted it in November. I was working on 4 different robots at that time, or at least getting exposure to 4 different robots. So that put my acceleration, and it also motivated me to learn a lot because I was teaching others and helping support others. And when you put that pressure on yourself, you're motivated to learn. I find so often that the people who are amazing at this sport, like yourself, were those program builders. And I saw that in you. I saw that in Zoe Lambert, that those people who are exposed to a ton of shit, like just get that like broad design exposure. So that put my learning, accelerated my learning in a way that is like so invaluable. I'm so grateful that I've had that experience. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to give back through that. And so that rolls us up to debuting Maximizer in March of 23. And then the rest is one TikTok later, and the rest is history, dude.
In fact, if you want to learn more about Maximizer, like and subscribe to this channel. Look at all the videos.
So yeah, okay. Production note: we are here. We are live on Jake Maximizer. We will not always be live on Jake Maximizer. We will be moving over to the Behind the Bots YouTube channel, and we will be migrating this audience over. Brandon and I haven't talked about that in private yet. So it will happen at some point.
When? Exactly.
When exactly is the question, because I'd like to continue streaming on my own and like doing that stuff.
We're getting our reps in now. But thank you all for bearing with us in it, especially the audio listeners.
And we're also trying to figure out how OBS works. So
Yes. It is quite a time. But it's a time we're going to work through.
It is.
So I guess one more big question for you, Jake, before we continue on. So like with UCCR, you mentioned before you had like the great Comet Robotics team, as well as Maximizer. So it's 2 great passion products going forward of what you're doing. So I guess sort of tell us how those have been working together, because Maximizer is very personal, like you said before. It's like one that you really love to pour yourself into, and UCCR is like group of people that you get to mentor and share with. So I just wanted to interact with those 2. Sort of how have those developments been? How sort of balance, as well as how one feed the other? How do they relate to one another? So,
and how does Maximizer relate to UC's team? Maximizer has been like my personal robot. When I first designed it, it was kind of, the thought was, okay, it might stay and live with the club like Waddles did. That was kind of Maximizer was initially a test bed for Doomba 3. Okay. And I intended on bringing back a Doomba 3. It got designed, and Maximizer was going to be the test bed for that. What happened is I built the robot, and then I ran out of money. So Maximizer became the Doomba 3, and it's designed a lot like Doomba in the way that it's assembled. Really, how it relates to UC's team is that it was my learning platform. The same way that the senior design robots were their learning platform, I would try out V belts. Now UC's all on V belts. I would try go build a hub, and if I liked it, then UC would go to it. So it was kind of the tip of the spear as far as development in like a positive direction. I got a ZTL order, UC got a ZTL order. So that it was a way to put risk on myself instead of on the seniors and the underclassmen who, might not want to try out experimental stuff. So that's kind of its relationship. And it was funded through the club. I want to be clear, like oh yeah, like UC paid for. I paid for a decent amount, but UC paid for a ton of stuff. It was that October that we applied for October of 22 that NHRL came down and said we're giving $10,000 to colleges, and that was just fuel for what I wanted to build and what we wanted to build at UC. Had that not come out, I would have not been able to continue with the sport fiscally. That was such an opportunity because it allowed me to go to students and say, if you have an idea and you love this, you can do it too. And that just leveled the playing field as far as who had access to that sport, to the sport. And it taught, I hope that the club continues with that lesson of how to make stuff as accessible as possible, and how to bring combat to the largest audience possible, because that's how you get the best ideas. That's how you build, the best machine. I love saying this to my students, but it's like, what are the odds that you have the best idea? And it's just like, you don't. And I don't think I have the best idea about how to build my robot. I don't think anybody has the best idea on how to build their robots. But approaching design with that, with a level of reverence, it can prove to accelerate the learning process. And that's what I've learned to love about the sport. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake.
Awesome.
To anyone who's first meeting us and first episode is this, well, hope that was helpful. Sort of get a bit of background on us. Just in case you had a few questions, hopefully that's sort of like a little introduction there. We don't plan to do that every single time. Just want to do it this time since our first time out on our own in the great big world. But
you want to
now start continuing on with our activities for the podcast. I wanted to do a walkthrough for the Combat Robotics calendar for the week of April 21st. This is what a week. What a week.
Wow.
There are 15 events this weekend across the world. Oh my gosh. With events in the US, UK, Australia, Italy, and Poland. So I'm going to try to walk through these. Bear with me, but I promise you, they're excellent. So first is the 6th MERCA event of the year, the Michigan Mashup, being held in Bloomingdale, Michigan, with 88 robots across the ferryweight, antweight, and beetleweight classes. Heading over to Bartlett, Tennessee, there's Grind City Robot Combat, where they are hosting Memphis and Mayhem with 16 robots across the antweight and plastic antweight classes, 1 pound as well. Next is the Golden Tech Tussle in Golden, Colorado, with 27 robots across the beetleweight and plastic ant classes. Continuing over to the West Coast, There's the AIM Presents Robotronica in Chico, California, with robots in the ant-weight and beetle-weight classes, and featuring demos and displays from BattleBots teams from Team Malice and Jason Vasquez of Team Whiplash. Be sure to check them out. Staying in California, there's also the Smashbots Neotropolis, part of a cyber sci-fi festival at the Edwards Air Force Base. They'll be running 9 plastic ants on Saturday. It's like a really small tournament in the middle of the larger festival that's running all across the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Going back across the country to the East Coast of the United States, we are in Chester, Pennsylvania, with the Widener Robotics Club presents the Widener Robot Rumble, featuring 12 robots across the ant-weight and plastic ant-weight classes. Heading up the coast to Hartford, Connecticut, Maker Battle is hosting the first round of their events with competitors in the ant-weight classes. We're in Blackstone in Queensland, Australia. They're hosting the Tyrants event with a combined 32 robots across the destructive and non-destructive UK ant-weights, or 150-gram US ferry weight class of robots. Journey across the continent, there is the Adelaide Robot Combat Scrapbot Challenge in Holden Hill in South Australia, where builders take a small kit with a few parts, build up a machine. There'll be 22 150-gram robots competing in total, all of which come with a small kit. They're going to build it out and compete in different classes with different varying levels of experience and ages into it as well. Heading back to the Northern Hemisphere, we travel to Europe, namely the UK, where the BBB Bristol Bot Builders North Down Havoc, at the North Down Orchard in Crewkerne, UK, where they're running BEVs or sportsman class featherweights. In Liverpool, UK, the Everleigh Pub will be hosting the Premiant League second round, featuring 150-gram UK ant-weights. At the Forum at the University of Exeter in the UK, they'll be hosting the InfoSec BattleBots, where the team is creating additional STEM elements, such as the arena containing weapons accessible via an API after completing a few cybersecurity challenges, as well as cameras in the arena designed to track and train the robots, training an AI element and be used to train and control other robots in the future. We continue in the UK to the Dome in Doncaster, UK, where Extreme Robots Live will be running a heavyweight live show over the weekend as a kickoff to the 2025 touring season. Make sure to check out their YouTube channel as they produce more videos throughout the year. Leaving the UK, we head to mainland Europe, where in Italy, they're hosting the Mini Robo War that's running in Savermonte with 150-gram robots. And finally, we arrive in Wybrysz. This is going to be fun. Wybrysz Stanisław in Wrocław, Poland. I hope that was right.
Nailed that. Right. That's exactly
what
it is.
Poland.
I've been there.
Let us know, Poland.
I've been there.
Like and subscribe. Where the university there is hosting the 16th Robotic Arena event, where they're running 1 pound U.S. ant weights, yippee, as part of a larger tournament, including over 16 different classes similar to the Robo Games, including lion following and mini sumo. Find all these events and more at robotcombatevents.com, buildersdb.com, and the bristolbotbuilders.com. We're going to take a quick break, but after that, we're going to interview the famous Golden Dumpster winner, Kezia Skye. Awesome. That's fun. All good.
Oh, I'm muted. Keziah, you drive one of the scariest robots in the 3 pound weight class. You drive a dissimilar car. What's the deal with that?
I love my car. I don't know, I always loved minis when I was a kid. Like, people have their dream car. It's like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something. For me, it was a Mini Cooper. I always wanted one. And this is actually my second one, and I absolutely love it.
And it's got a name, and I think the name is it needs to be publicized.
Francesca, or Fran for short.
It has a full name.
Yeah, Fran is short.
Fran is short for Francesca.
Yeah.
No kidding. Cool. So the Mini Cooper, is that, how do you think that plays in when you drive Kitty? How do you think that driving Fran, is it like driving Fran, or is it, how does that work?
Um, Not too much. I mean, they both run on batteries, so we got that going for us at least.
Hmm.
Crazy torque, we got that going. So
Crazy
there's
torque.
some similarities in there. Yeah, EV torque is wild if you've never tried it.
Huge. And I guess that makes, I guess Kitty's an EV, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I could really ride Kitty that well. I'd be worried about breaking her, but
Have
she
you
is an EV technically.
have you tried?
I haven't, but
Yeah.
also I don't want to break these gearboxes.
So you recently did okay at the last Norwalk.
Yeah, another disappointment.
Oh no! Oh no!
Let me see if I can remember right. I 2024 was objectively like a hard season for Kitty. I think anyone from the outside kind of looking in uh, could kind of see that a little bit. How do you think 2024 played into how you fought in March?
It really made me. I kind of had to rethink the whole bot, and I really had to hammer in like the issues she had.
Mm-hmm.
So starting, so sorry. Starting 2024, she had like some major electrical issues, which took me a while to figure out. I thought I squashed the bug at Teams because it just didn't happen at Teams, but then the very next event, she turned off at the start of a fight, never turned back on. Um, so leading into 2025, I knew the minibot rules were changing. I knew Kitty was going to have to be exactly 3 pounds. I never took a huge advantage of the minibot bonus. She was like 3 pounds, 2 ounces. A lot of that was out of laziness. Like I don't have to make her lighter, so why would I? Um, so I knew a redesign had to happen. Um, the finals version of Kitty was the wrong path to go down. Because there were two paths here. I could either keep the aluminum chassis, which I trusted with my life, that would also lock me into the drive system that I hated. And to do that, I'd have to take weight out of things I didn't really want to, like the weapon motor. I had to run a smaller one of that. It's just not as torquey as she was. Putting on carbon fiber ears, just all these weight savings I didn't like very much. I, but it was the cheaper option because those chassis are like $150 a piece. So it was really hard for me to cut ties with them. Um, it definitely wasn't the right path to go down. So the correct path was completely redesign the main chassis of the robot so I can keep the crazy motor, so I can keep the full metal uprights, so I can put in a new drive system, which I felt like was holding me back like for so long. And more weapon because she definitely needed a hip hitter.
Well, I will. So the the weapon redesign. Geez, so a little lore. right before teams, I got some steel that I guess I'd like to retain a secret on it just because it's bad. Um, it's an insanely hard tool steel. Um, and what we found is that it's just really brittle. And when we cut some kitty blades out of them, uh, they shattered, and it broke my heart when that happened. When did that happen? I can't
That
remember.
happened at World Champs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
ran
no.
those for teams. I ran those at the later June event that I didn't go too deep in, and then third fight of World Champs, very first weapon on weapon with repeater explodes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
So that was the end of my World Championship run.
Yeah. I
mm.
forgot that it was against repeater, which is like, yeah, I couldn't believe that a 2 pound robot had snapped a 3 pound robot's weapon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't keep track of like what fights what blades were in. I didn't do
Hmm.
that deep of like tracking. So it might have seemed like a really harsh fight beforehand, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm not entirely sure.
So when you were kind of going down the list of like, okay, I have this fundamental frame problem that's incompatible with my drive solution. What what were your desired outcomes from this massive overhaul?
Getting rid of the drive system. I the
Throw it out.
the second that Seth announced the Blitz Pro motors, I went, "Oh, that is precisely what I want to put in Kitty." Like, I want Kitty to be this like stupid fast thing. Like,
Hmm.
she first version was geared for 35 miles per hour. It was way too much, but it was fun. Second version was like 22 or something like that. Um, and I really wanted to keep that. If I put like maxes or compacts in, I'm getting like 8 or 9 miles an hour, which is still fast. And I think most people aren't driving faster than that in a box anyway. But to me, with the numbers I was working with before, I'm like that sounds like a snail. I don't want that.
Mm.
Um, so with the Blitz Pros, Kitty's like it's like 16 or 18 miles per hour, which is what I was driving at with the old system, and then I would tune it down in my transmitter. So the Blitz Pro at full beans is exactly what Kitty was at before I put the pros into it.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect solution to what I wanted.
Yeah. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Yeah, Kitty's at like teleporting speed with that kind of rate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and with the with the added like accuracy I have, like she actually goes straight now, so I'm comfortable going faster.
And
And that was a big thing in why I was driving so quickly in this past event versus maybe some former ones. I tell her to go straight, she goes straight, and that confidence allows me to push her faster and know that she's going to do what I'm telling her to do.
so background. So how did you start doing combat? What was it like growing up? Um, kind of wanting to do this.
Yeah, I don't remember how it all happened, but I know I was watching BattleBots back when it was on Comedy Central.
You know,
Um, Ziggo was my favorite bot. I named my first hamster after Ziggo. I've told this story so many times. I really should have cleared my throat before this. But yeah, growing up, I always like I wanted to get involved, but it just seemed like something I wouldn't be able to. Like, on TV, it's like, oh, these NASA engineers, rocket scientists, they're building these death machines and fighting each other. Like, that bar's pretty high. I'm not a NASA engineer. I don't think I can get into this, and they're expensive. And I didn't know anything outside of like BattleBots and Robot Wars existed for combat robotics. I didn't know about other weight classes, other events. Um, so really, like when I learned about NHRL, just it bit me like immediately. Like, oh, I could afford to do this. Oh, I can probably build one of these. Holy crap, I need to do this immediately. Um, and I spent like 6 straight months just grinding, learning CAD, learning the electrical design, learning the, you know, um, this like structural engineering that goes into it. Just every day, I was just grinding away at how can I make this happen because I need to make this happen.
Are you telling me that you didn't know how to do CAD before combat?
Correct.
Oh wow,
Whoa,
that's
Kitty
crazy.
was Kitty was my first CAD project.
Whoa,
nice.
Like
that is
literally.
Kudos to you.
I'm not joking.
wow. That's a hell of a first CAD project.
I
Yeah, that's
I
sick. Nice.
it's I've remade the whole file since then, but for a long time I was carrying the weight of my first CAD project and
Yeah.
the thousands of operations that were on it. It was a hell of a file, but yeah, that was my first CAD project, really.
Wow. So what is your background? What did you go to school for? If I
I didn't
would.
go to school.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
just high school diploma only. Hello.
Cool, cool. So what is your technical? What's your day job? I know what your day job is, but
My day job right now is I set up X-ray baggage scanning equipment,
mhm,
get that running, calibrate it, troubleshooting, that sort of stuff. Um,
cool.
just something I got into when I moved to Maryland. Just like I need a job, and I was like, yeah, I could probably do that.
Maryland Mansion, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we have three huge Ravens fans in the call right now. It's a Ravens only interview.
Me, I don't care about
Whoa,
sports.
whoa. There's a reason why this podcast is purple, and it's because
Oh yeah, that's
go
it.
birds. Welcome to the flock. But you're not from Maryland initially.
No, I moved here 2 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
I'm originally from Central New York,
Okay. Okay.
not the city. I need to be very clear about it not
Not the
being the
city.
Not
city.
Central
Not
Park.
the city.
So I say New York, and everybody's like, "Oh, how's the big city?" I was like,
Mm.
"I didn't say New York City. I said New York."
It's so did you grow up like on a farm? Like if it wasn't the city, was it yeah.
No,
The kitty farm?
was there? No, there were no farms.
Oh, okay.
Just standard suburbia. I don't know.
Hmm.
Not solid.
So what was
Yeah.
life like growing up? You know, what
Yes.
what did you do?
What was it growing up?
Yeah.
I don't know. I spent a lot of time on the internet,
Okay.
not going out much, playing with electronics, not really doing anything with them, just like taking them apart, messing with them, trying to put them back together. Just, I never really made anything out of them. I just like taking things apart and putting it back together. So I was always tinkering with something.
Yeah, so I guess sort of going along that train as far as like the backup, like the technical knowledge growth with Kitty. So I guess just sort of diving into like Kitty lore as well. So you sort of learn that it's like if Kitty, so Kitty's like your first CAD project. So it's already starting off with like this really interesting way of sort of self-teaching into the tech world, which I think is awesome, by the way. Best way to learn is by having a purpose behind it. I think that's super cool. So I
A
guess
huge motivator.
oh yeah, huge. Like when you want to do something, you're gonna like do that thing, and that's way different than being forced into doing it for sure. And so the part I'm like curious with Kitty is like, okay, so Kitty's the first idea. So then naturally, what inspired Kitty? Sort of what's the philosophy of not just making like a bigger Ziggo or smaller Ziggo, I guess.
I really do want to make a Ziggo. I keep thinking about
Okay.
it. Just shell spinners aren't cheap with the whole machining the shell thing. Maybe a plant. But I really want to make an homage to Ziggo. I've been thinking about that for a while.
Mm.
Um, Chainsaw Kitty was directly inspired by Seth Schaefer's Robot Division, version 3, which hasn't been around for a little while now. But Seth's content is like sort of what introduced me to NHRL. I watch BattleBot's YouTube content. Somewhere along the line, it starts pushing Seth on me, and then through his videos, I found NHRL, and that's how I got involved in the whole thing.
Thank you,
So
algorithm.
really, what's that?
I said thank you, algorithm, for doing its
Yeah,
job.
no, the algorithm did me good. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the algorithm. I
Mm.
usually
Mhm.
hate the alg, but they did all right that time. Um, But yeah, Seth's robot was a huge inspiration. It's no secret that the first versions of Kitty were heavily based on how Division was designed, because Seth also has the CAD for that version of Division available on his store. So you can download that and pick it apart, see exactly how everything's constructed. And really, the first versions of Kitty were a four-wheel drive Division with a smaller spinner. Like, it really wasn't that far removed from that concept. Um, with the new redesign, she's kind of shed that old baggage. Baggage isn't a great word for it, but she's not designed in the same way that Division is. Despite looking the same as she did before, just everything's different.
The four
No,
wheel.
that's really cool. I'm glad to see like the effect of it because I mean we don't have Seth here. Maybe later, but we don't have Seth here. But when I'd like to think about people sort of like in their inspiration of what draws them to it, I imagine that when you're looking at Division, there's probably some part of it that you also sort of related to. And if I were to guess, you can correct me in a moment here, but if I were to guess, there's something about like the chaotic raw power that maybe Division does that maybe translated a bit in the Chainsaw Kitty. But what are your sort of the inspiration with that? Or like when you want to fight Kitty, how do you want Kitty to fight?
Um, it's definitely. I mean, the chaos is fun. I love a big stupid spinner more than anything. Um, but obviously, you have to control that in some amount. And that's sort of where the idea for Kitty came from. It's like Division. I love how hard it hits, but being a tall two-wheel drive robot, it flops all over the place. How can we make that a little more stable? Give it, a wider base to sit on, four wheels, square shape. Kitty still flops like a fish, but there's only so much she can do about that when
Hmm.
you're hitting as hard as she is. But it was definitely like, how do I make a more stable Division? And that's where we ended up at.
I like it. Awesome stuff.
If Kitty had like a secret or a through line to like your design ethos, what like one thing that made it what it is, because there's so many four wheel drive verts. What makes Kitty Kitty? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I think the main thing is one of the main things is just like how much weapon power I stuff into this thing. Like
Yeah,
most people aren't running a 2814 with like
yeah.
the braking set to max. Like you don't see bots leaping out of pins often, and I think that's sort of part of her identity is just the stupid amount of like it's unnecessary. She does not need to have that much motor, but it's fun. I like it.
W-
Um, and the aesthetics obviously I think are one of the big things that set her apart from other robots. Especially there's so many black robots like you know um but you slap an anime sticker on there, a little blood splatter, there you go, brand new robot.
So good. Love the theming on it.
Thank you.
Trivia: Kazia's first event and my first event, November 22, were the same event, and I very distinctly remember catching Kitty, like, t- kind of where safety is now, but like back there, in the back of the pits, and I when I saw it, I thought it was a bot that had been there forever, and I did not know that it was that bot's first event, and that was, that's what stuck out in my mind. Um, when you were kind of, you said you were kind of at a precipice with a lot of changes, late 24. Did you ever, was it a clear vision that you had for what you want Kitty to be, or was there a decision tree at any point where it could go off and become something else?
I'd never wanted to make her an entirely new robot,
Mm-hmm.
but like I was saying before, there were two paths. Do I stick with the aluminum chassis and the
Yeah.
restrictions that gives me, like make more sacrifices to make this stupid thing work? Which another fun trivia bit, the chassis used to weigh more than her weapon,
Oh
which is
man.
stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 6.5 ounces of aluminum chassis with a 6 ounce blade, which people are also shocked at how light that blade was. It was surprisingly light. It's all about bite and engagement speed. That's why she hit so hard. Um, so yeah, there was that crossroads of, do I do dumb things to keep the aluminum chassis alive, or do I leap off this cliff of redesigning the entire way the bot is structured? Um, and see, I took the keep the chassis route at finals, and I hated it, and it was the wrong decision, and I wasted a ton of money on it. Um, but you know, it was scary to give up the security blanket of the aluminum chassis. Just a rock solid brick, like everything bolted to that. Like that that thing took so many shots that I think would have killed other robots very easily.
Uh, Question from Ryan. You ended up judging fights at Motorama.
I did.
Will you be judging more fights again in the future? What was that like?
I didn't go there to judge. I went there just to hang out. I didn't have like any robots ready, so I didn't try to enter anything for Motorama. I was just gonna hang out. Um, but they just needed somebody to fill in, and I got asked. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I actually had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it. Um, it probably helped that they were using Spark has like two different judging criteria. There's like a more like three criteria setting, like sort of how NHRL does it, but then there's like a simplified two metric setting. We were using the two metric, which made things a little bit simpler, so that was nice. But I had a lot of fun with it. I could definitely see myself doing it again at a non NHRL event because I'm gonna want to fight at NHRL.
Yeah, I know the feel.
Yeah, but like if I go to G Scroll or something and just mince competing, like I might try to volunteer.
Cool. Okay. If you had, sorry, I'm pulling from our questions now, from our listener questions. And if you have a question, we are reading chat, and we will respond to your question in chat as long as it's appropriate. Uh, Alex Mint is your partner. I'm curious, are Usagi and CSK roommates, cousins, or very good friends? I'm curious.
They are lesbians.
Wow. Amazing.
This is how it should be. I ship us and I ship our robots.
And the robots together. Incredible.
Ballistic.
And real question, who is your favorite non-SAGC bot in the 3, 12s, and 30 divisions, and why? And let me put a caveat on that. You're not allowed to say Maximizer, and you're not allowed to say Pepe Sylvia, because those are cop-outs. Those are cop-out answers.
First, I was not going to say Maximizer.
Let's go!
I hate to break your heart. As a bot and builder combination, I love you. But if we're just looking at the bot, I like stupid chaos energy.
Yes.
I was gonna say Pepe for the 30s though, so I'm mad. 3 pounders, I gotta give it to Division. It inspired me to make a whole robot, so that's an obvious one. Just anything with a huge spinner on it like that, like Synthesis is another good choice for that.
Yeah.
12s, you don't see them super often, but every time Weather Report comes on screen, seeing it like, you not like that pick?
That thing is
a
horrifying.
Terrifying machine.
Yeah.
Are you regretting banning me from saying Maximizer now?
No, I'm not. That's a fine pick. That's a really good pick.
I like Weather Report.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool.
That thing's terrifying. Ugh.
And then 30s, I was gonna say Pepe, but I'm gonna have to go with my second pick, which would be Depth Charge.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
Yeah, big dumb energy is my thing. I love it. It's
If it can turn up in a wormhole in the universe, it's probably a good pick.
I'm terrified of Weather Report, and now I'm terrified of Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
That thing,
Two of them.
Yeah.
that thing's spinner is ginormous.
Yeah, I think
So,
you have good reason to be
so
scared of that.
Alex Pick had a question, but
Okay.
you've answered it. Do you have any interest in building a less chaotic robot?
Not really, like, at least not for something I'm gonna run solo. The sort of funny thing is there are two SAGC multibots like in various states of completion. One of them just need to make wheels and print bodies for it, and it could fight next event. Um, but both of these ideas, I'm driving a control bot, which is really weird and doesn't feel like me. But in a multibot setting, I think it'd be interesting. Um, but I don't think I would ever solo a control bot. I like big dumb energy.
So you're teasing the existence of this robot to a large
Mhm.
audience. Is this something that people can look forward to?
I've been teasing this robot for a while. We'll see if slash when it happens. It's like the funny thing is it's done. It's been done. We have all the parts for it. Like I literally just have to 3D print some stuff and make some wheels, and it could fight tomorrow. Like
I'm trying to
just it
think.
just needs to somebody just needs to say go. The other
Okay.
one, I don't know if it's gonna end up happening. I don't know if it's in the budget with everything going on economically right now. But
Mm, understandable.
but we already have all the parts for the other one, so I don't have to worry about that.
Would you like to tease a
3 pound.
for both?
Who? Not me. Love to see it.
Yeah, I want to make a 12 pounder so bad. I've
Yeah.
been talking about a 12 pound kitty for a while. Don't know how likely that is, but I think I could. I think a 12 pound Yan would be cheaper, and if she's legal next year, I might do it. If she's legal, if she works when she shows up again later this year, I feel like she's gonna make a good case for her own ban.
No, that's a good point. Let's see. So, going up to the famous Gwen the Refbot, builder of Jackalope, and all around awesome human being. Let me just read this bar for bar so we can make sure we get the full experience going on here. Hi, Keziah. So great to see a bot that took such inspiration from Jackalope go all the way in prime time. Jokes aside, you're one of my favorite people to watch in the sport over the years, and your dumpster was the first time in a while that I've been really popped off that hard for someone else's win. So, question number one. With Kitty taking virtually no damage through April, what upgrades, untested configs, or other refinements do you even see putting in the cat before finals?
Honestly, there's very, very little I think needs to change. Everything I did worked, so no complaints there. The very minor tweaks I want to do, I want to tighten up the drive belt tension just a hair. I felt it was a little too loose. The wedge mounting didn't really work. I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to work that well. Um, Glenn only kind of got like one like corner hit that tried to rip off my wedge, and it nearly took it off. But I know what I want to do differently. It's pretty much what we do on Usagi. I've already designed it, so I should have done it in the first place. But I wanted to see if this would work. I now know it doesn't. Still a better failure state than the old ones though, which would pop off with a breeze in the wrong direction.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and what else? And then the final thing that I need to change isn't so much with the robot, but I need to play with my transmitter settings a little bit. The main driving problem I was having this last event was my self rights were really inconsistent. Um, so I have like a slow acceleration on the throttle, and usually it would work for self righting, but I have a button to override it, turn it off, so I can just full send with torque. But the new version of Kitty, the weight balance is a little different. It's definitely more forward. She's a hair longer, so it takes more force to get her to flop back over. And it just wasn't working, and I kept just muscle memory doing it and screwing up the self rights. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on the transmitter programming, get that all squared away. But honestly, I don't know. She was she was just great this past event. I really have almost no complaints.
You know, that's still pretty good. I mean, you can trust Kitty that much, and Kitty proved it.
Mhm.
I understand the argument totally, 100%.
Yeah, I'm super happy. And untested configs, not, I don't really have anything special lined up. Um, I have like this belt guard config that I still haven't ran in any configuration except like for overheads to like protect like a saw hit from hitting my belt straight on. Um, when I pulled Prince, I really kind of wanted that belt guard, but more forward, and I didn't have one of those on hands, and the one with the for the overheads wasn't going to work because it holds it like really upright, so they would just like catch the bottom of it. So, um, I definitely want to make a mount where that's held a little more forward for bots that can outreach me and snipe my belt, which is how I originally designed that piece of armor all the way back at Teams because there was a tiny huge in the 3 pound weight class, so I made a belt guard just for that and then never fought it. So it's just been sitting in the toolbox until this past event.
Yeah, that I know the feeling. You have like, I have an idea. It's just a case idea, but when the robot brain gets going, you see you might be fighting against, saying all the thoughts and all the fears come back. You're like, I'm gonna try everything just in case. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I don't know, not that much in titanium. Spend a few minutes bending it. Like, if I fight that huge, I'm gonna really want this. Otherwise, they're just gonna wreck me. So I'll spend a few dollars and not give them the free win.
Exactly. You love to see it.
Hmm.
And so, sort of bouncing off of that, Gwen's second question ties into like when you're modifying it. So, between Kitty, Nyan, and pitching it on Usagi, y'all have a lot of different bots that undergo significant redesigns while maintaining their visual and functional identity. What's your process for identifying areas of improvement, and how do you leverage them without compromising on the style or performance elsewhere?
In terms of like keeping the style, you just got to keep in mind like what makes these bots look like these bots. Like for instance,
Mm.
Kitty. Um, Again, the whole thing got redesigned, but I wanted it to still look like Kitty. Like, okay, what makes Kitty look like Kitty? We've got the ears on the uprights. We've got the blood spider on the blade. The anime artwork. Those are easy. Um, and the text on the back, like just these sort of design cues that are unique to Kitty. Like we have to keep all those in. She'll still look like Kitty afterwards, despite these massive changes. For Usagi, it's these bright colors, a lot of rounded shapes. Um, I do a lot of hard edges on Kitty, but Usagi was like almost all fillets. Like she's very round, bit of a sports car looking thing going on it. So
Mega
it's really just keeping
wedge.
those sort of things in mind. And the big stupid wedge. Like,
Mega
And Big
wedge.
Stupid Wedge.
that's
You just,
that's
yeah.
one of the big identity parts of Usagi is stupid, ridiculous front ends. And I think it's really fun because it lets us. We have like it's like 12, 13 ounces like just for the front,
Mm.
so we can do dumb stuff like that wedge.
That's some
Just
heft right there.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of other config ideas for Usagi that haven't come out yet that I'm excited to hopefully be able to use someday.
That should be exciting. And so I'm going to pull one question from the chat, which kind of touches on the design aspects as well, from the Level 99 Charmander, which asks, what do you think was your biggest optimization or change to Kitty that you're most proud of? So I know you mentioned like the drive stuff earlier, and so you can either like talk more about that or other stuff as well that comes to mind.
The drive system's so huge. Like,
Mm.
I cannot overstate how good the drive change was.
Yeah.
The old system, like, it would never go straight. Like, I had the mounts designed in a way where I could increase like the tension like between the two gears because too little and it's gonna skip teeth, too much and it just like grinds really bad. So I had tension adjustments built into the mounts, and then I'd always have to balance them. And then, oh, the chassis bends because it always bends. It's 6061 aluminum, and everything's thrown off. And now she drives like this when I tell her to go straight. And I hated that drive system. I hated that drive system for so long. Is really, it's by far the biggest change, the biggest optimization, the biggest like return of investment for anything I've ever done for this robot by a mile.
Nice. No, awesome stuff. Yeah, thanks for sharing about that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break. After the break, we're going to be going to the fight review. Keziah has pulled some select fights that they'd like to talk about, break down the intricacies. We got 3 fighters here. We're going to look at the fights, see what we see. I haven't watched these yet. Have you broken these down at all yet? Or is this...
Ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. And then we'll come back to fight review. Thanks,
See you
guys.
soon.
Okay. All right. Let me pee real quick. Breaking it down. I know. It's because I don't have 2 monitors, so I will stream OBS in and out when I transition from one to the next one. Yeah, that's how you know we're actually doing it live. Yeah. That was a great interview. That was awesome. I felt like that was really good. They're not there. Oh. This is why we need a producer, is because is because things happen and hot mics happen. Welcome back. We're going to do a little fight review. So something we do as combat people is we sit down and we watch the hell out of our fights. I know. Brandon, are you obsessive about watching your fights?
Whenever I close my eyes, I remember Megatron setting me on fire. So I think we're in good company here.
It's damn near a narcissistic level of fight watching for me. So we're
Yeah, I am obsessive with that.
Mhm.
Every camera angle like 20 times a day. Like what every point
Exactly.
of data I can get out of this, like every mistake I might have made, just how can I do better next time?
cool. So we're gonna be watching this fight. So talk us through your day a little bit. This is your fight with Sunday Scaries. It's your third to your last fight. How is Kitty feeling at this point?
I had a couple openers. The very first one was against Flamenwerfer. It was a brand new flamethrower bot. It was the guy's first ever robot. Um, to his credit, it worked. He got it in the box, did everything it was supposed to. But it was a little one-sided first time competitor versus Chainsaw Kitty.
Yeah.
Um, but the bot works. He won his second fight, which is awesome. So I didn't totally take him out, which is great.
Uh,
Um,
you're kind of having your ass kicked here.
yeah, I am kind of having my ass
I'm
kicked.
sorry. This is my first time. I didn't
For
Oh
remember.
yeah,
reason
you
wrong.
haven't
So,
seen this fight.
Kitty's been punched real hard.
wow.
I'm
This
kind
is
of
kind
getting
of bad.
slapped. No, it's actually horrible. I was making a lot of driving mistakes in the beginning of this fight, just really jittery on the controls, and you can see I'm screwing up the self rights like every single time, which is just giving Zach opportunities to hit me.
So,
Um, yeah, I really get smacked around the first like 30, 40 seconds of this fight. Um, any one of these exchanges, Zach could have just ended my entire day if he got the right shot and hit my motor.
so when you're saying you're making driving errors, what do you mean by that specifically?
Just like I don't know, you'll see me like gyro up onto the wall, you'll see me like I try to self right and I just like totally fudge it and she doesn't flip over or
Yeah.
like for some reason I just randomly cut weapon throttle
Oh, here.
in one part and just like I'm upset. Yeah, there's the wall. Just stupid. Yeah, if you gyro turn like a little too close to the wall, you're just gonna end up wall riding, and it's super annoying. And the bot handles super weird when it does that.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I think immediately after this is where I do like a really stupid self right. Like I'm turned away from him, and then I do
And
that.
then,
It's
yeah,
just like I don't know. It this fight
it's
really
just
woke
not
me up.
working out.
It's just not working.
Yeah.
But I start to get a handle on it. I start to get a groove, and
You won
you
the
can
weapon
see
on
like
weapon
right
round.
here immediately. I got one weapon on weapon, and then I want to say that one of the things that makes Kitty really scary is when I get one hit, I get five hits. Like
Yeah.
I hit you once, I'm going to keep hitting you, and just watch this whole exchange. Like it's like the
Yeah.
perfect example of like
Oops.
once I get a foot in the door, I am going entirely through that door.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, right now we're reviewing the Chainsaw Kitty Sunday Scaries fight from April, and quite frankly, it's just incredible seeing the turnaround. Because before, Kitty sort of mentioned before was having a lot of issues, sort of trying to stay stable. But as Keziah just mentioned, as soon as Kitty gets a really good foot in the door, it just
Jeez.
begins juggling Sunday Scaries. And now, actually, we're sort of focusing in on like pretty much just a
Wow.
whole curb stomp the other direction right now. It's good stuff.
The self right on Kitty is like one of the recognizable driving traits. What are you actually doing when you do that?
It is manipulation of the weapon throttle. So it's just the torque reaction of the
Yeah.
blades. With sometimes a little bit of backing up because the drive will help flip her over, but it's mostly in the weapon.
Um, when
Excuse me.
you So do you have that on a hotkey on your transmitter, or are you actually
No.
jiggling your
Um,
weapon throttle?
Actually, I have my transmitter right here. So I use a wheel style transmitter, and there's a potentiometer right here that I made a little lever for, and I actuate that with my right hand, with my thumb. So
Wow,
you've
that's
seen me
pretty
a lot
good. I like how you
flipping
modify
the.
it to fit the usage there, because you can see
I'm
it in
looking
real
now.
time watching this fight.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times, to audio listeners as well,
Yeah.
Kitty's hopping around a ton, and
Yeah.
whenever Kitty's hopping
Mhm.
around, you can really tell the amount of torque in the system manipulating the robot, as well as the opponent as it like sort of hooks, tears into, almost like double kicks. It's like a bucking bronco
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Kitty's not like or at least in a lot of Kitty shots, it's very much anti staying in one place for like a long time. It's consistent kinetic motion, and it's like very visceral energy whenever Kitty is doing things in the box. It's in stuff. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, I like to keep the pressure on, stay aggressive. Don't let them reset. Like it's again with that like sort of juggling thing.
I,
Like if I can discombobulate you, like I'm just gonna keep taking advantage of that.
you won that one exchange, and it was like there was nothing. The Sunday Scaries
Yeah.
was on ground for like 5 seconds sum total. After that, just
Yeah.
you can't drive
It
if you're in
starts
the
right
air.
here. I get out of that corner, and then
Yeah.
there's just this 5 hit combo in the corner. Like there's no time for him
No
to react to
chance.
like any of
Yeah.
this. Like and look, that's the wheel guard. Like that's
Right.
all it took to give me an advantage in this fight was one
Because now that's
exchange.
pulling. Wow.
Hmm.
Really, it's kind of like almost like a rock rolling downhill. What is it? I know in sports, I know even in like video games, like fighting games particularly, there's a huge emphasis on momentum, really driving how a
Yeah.
game works. Because a lot of times you sort of think about it, you might think, oh, well, it's just like, one moment here, one moment there, maybe it culminates in something. But in here, it's very much like it's going up, up, up for Sunday Scaries, and then just one or two hits, and then just starts going down consistently. Kitty's getting stronger, and eventually, like Sunday Scaries, weapons done. Wheel guard is very much chewed up, and Bot's just stuck on its fate, stuck on the wall, just praying for death. I imagine, just like no more, please. Like it goes for an unstick and all that, but Kitty's just like doing the Kitty things. It's visceral stuff,
Yeah,
but it
I
kind of
had
like
turned on
yeah,
the weapon
really.
a lot near the end. You'll notice throughout this fight,
Jeez.
my motor becomes more and more yellow.
Oh,
The
I
the
feel so bad.
the tape around the motor came off and got jammed between the motor can and my top plate. Um, and one of the other things I
Is
do
that
on my
what that
transmitter
puddle is?
is, yeah, you might be able to see it. Yeah, you can see.
Whoa.
Look, this is what we're using the pen feature for, is to
Yeah.
identify. So I made these motors for Keziah, and I did not want to put yellow motors on Kitty. And so I wrapped them in not tape, but a nice adhesive vinyl, thinking it would make them look better. But it almost cost Kitty this fight, which I do feel quite bad about. But
It's
it's
um
okay. As you can see, it went the right way.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, so on my transmitter I also have a telemetry script that just in big text will say like what my battery voltage is, and throughout the fight I'll have my +1 being like I just kept saying to Alex like voltage and time, voltage and time, voltage and time, and
Mm.
I'm just like, wow, I really feel like I'm draining battery a lot faster than I should. It turned out it was because of the tape, but that's why I slowed
Oh,
down like way hard when I noticed his weapon was down.
yeah. Well,
Jake, please.
you split
First
the
the steel,
belt.
then the tape.
I know. I can't stop messing up my favorite 3 pounder
The
at
tape,
every
the
turn.
tape didn't
How
lose me
does
a
a
fight at
belt do
least.
that? Look at that belt. Look, it's split down the
Interesting.
metal, down the
Interesting.
middle. Look
So,
at that.
Is it split or
for the
is it
audio
just two
listeners,
belts?
Unless there's
Sunday
two.
Scaries is running like a inverted toothed timing belt. So it's a smooth part goes to the pulley, and the teeth on the outside of it. But we're zooming in and we're noticing that it's like
It's
split,
split
like
down
a
the
V.
middle.
Yeah, and we
I've
can see the
never
other
seen
part
a
of it's
belt
not
do
split.
that on Earth. Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
really wondering if
That's
that's split or if it's just two belts that look like one at the
I'm
bottom.
hoping it's just two belts because that would be brutal if it's if
Two
it's
belts
how
split
did
would
down the
be
that
middle.
happen?
cool. Two belts, yeah, yeah. We had somebody in the chat saying it's two belts. That's
Two
pretty
belts?
fun
Okay.
actually that you
Okay. He
guys picked
runs two
that.
belts.
Thank you, chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
Thank you,
other one
chat.
was
We
missing.
appreciate the lore support in real time.
you could see it on my face. I was like not feeling great about that fight
Yeah.
and like how I like I said, like that first 30, 40 seconds, if Zach just hit something important, my whole day would have been over. But I he never hit anything. I pretty much didn't take damage in this fight. The back armor got a little scuffed, but
That's it.
he never actually hit anything that caused damage.
Where's
Oh,
your
wow.
head at mentally when you're so you're kind of down on the points, 2 minutes in or 1 minute in, and then how do you mentally prepare for a flip like that?
For what? For like the self-righting flips?
No. Like, sorry,
Oh, for
a flip in the way that the fight is
fight.
going. It's flipping from very
Yeah.
much not in your favor to in your favor.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to think like what am I doing wrong? Why am I losing these engagements? Should I give up on trying the weapon on weapons? Because sometimes you go weapon on weapon with a robot and you're just never gonna win that and you're handing them the victory if I keep going for it, which is a problem I've had in the past. I keep describing it as I have the big stick. I want to hit people with the big stick. But sometimes that's not the play. Sometimes people have the stick that beats my stick, and my bullheadedness of trying to deliver the big stick loses me the fight. Um, so I'm sort of taking in like, do I give up on trying the weapon of weapons? Do I just try to get around him? Or am I just taking the engagements badly? And I sort of I don't really want to give away the secrets entirely, but
You can keep the secrets if you need to. Nothing you don't want to share.
yeah. But
Cool.
I realized I was approaching the fight in the wrong way and losing myself with the weapon on weapons. So a little tweak in my driving strategy made a huge difference in those.
That's such a cool fight, just because of the
Yeah,
turnaround.
absolutely.
That's such a cool fight.
Congratulations again. Excellent
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank
You can
you.
see as well as like the after fight expressions too. I can see like the relief as well as the like tension in the
Yeah,
shoulders and eyes, just being like,
like
okay, all right, okay, we did it, we get it, we're living.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
it's great
like
stuff.
yeah, like oh my God, I almost lost it. But also again, it woke me up. That was I'm always rough on the controls for my first fight or two. And that was the fight that woke me up for the day. Um,
So,
and Zach was kind enough to give me his whole little wraparound armor piece. So thank you
Oh,
very much,
nice.
Zach. It's
So
a nice
yeah, it
big
looks
piece.
like we're going to a second fight here. Strike point?
here, wait, hold the armor piece up. I'm sorry, I had the wrong cam feed. You gotta
Oop, oop,
give
give me
me
a
a
second.
warning. Here, hold
Oh,
up the
for
armor piece.
oh
Yeah,
the
sorry.
trophy piece.
I
Yeah,
had
no, I
I had
should
the
have said
wrong.
something.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
There it is, the
Gorgeous,
corpse of
gorgeous.
Sunday Scaries.
Thank
Trophies
you
of
very much,
War.
Zach.
Trophies of
Yeah.
war.
Yeah, Kitty got quite a few good bites out of that.
Trophies of war.
Sharp blade like that just slices right through this sort
Yeah.
of air gap TPU armor like really well. This works
Mhm.
great against like beaters because they have a big like impact surface. They don't really bite into things so much, but a bladed vert, we tear this stuff up.
Love it.
Cool. Okay, so this is going into your fight with Strike Point. Strike Point, one of love Sean Becker, one of the most strategic executions of a robot that I've ever seen. Just like as far as thought process. Kitty's got some configurations on it. Let's talk about that. What's going on? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh,
I'm
change the
sorry.
camera on.
My bad.
No, you're good.
I'm learning all the hotkeys right now.
We're doing it in real time. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. This is more freeware that's being used to hold this podcast together. So you've got this up front. What's going on here?
So those are just like vertical walls. A lot of people call this a cope cage.
Okay.
Um, the idea is, well, Strike Point has this arm with a blade at the end. What if I just have a wall that stops the arm before the blade can make contact with the robot? Um, so that makes it fairly safe for me to engage from the front. Because as long as he's either hitting that wall or the arm is stopped by that wall, he's not going to bite into my top, which my batteries are right there. Under that pink sticker is one of the batteries, and the other one is under the motor. So,
So
Oh
they're
my.
they're here in the robot.
yeah. So if I go face to face with him and he's, to the side of my weapon, he's going into battery. So
Yeah.
those make it so it's safe for me to go directly into his face head on. Um, in conjunction with, you can't see it super well on this angle, but I do have that belt guard I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh
Here.
yes, the front of the robot sort of sticking out.
TPU, yeah, TPU mount with a titanium plate. So that means as long as I'm going face to, does not have a clear shot on anything, because it's either armor or wall or spinning blade of death. So he's probably not going to swing into me if we're face to face, which is good.
And in the back here, you've got regular, your regular spring steel, good stuff.
Yeah, the spring steel's probably not going to stop him, but if he gets like a really bad bite
Oh.
hit or scrapes it or something, then it'll do something. It's better than nothing.
So
Yeah, of course. Mhm.
immediately, my first thought, like watching this fight live, was these forks are massive on Strike Point. Um,
Those forks were, yeah,
Terrifying.
yeah.
Um,
Those are oppressive. Where is the best way I can describe it.
Mm.
yeah. Um, w- how do you drive against that? Like, what is going through your head when you're wanting to drive against something like that?
So the idea going into this fight is to run the blade a lot slower. The slower I'm spinning the blade, the less gyroscopic precession is happening, and the more control I have over driving. So you can see in here,
Oh wow.
Kitty's not spinning that fast, but it's letting me drive really good.
Whoa.
And
Yeah, and Kitty's super duper fast, so it's just
yeah,
really good combo there.
so really I just have to like hit the side of the fork or the side of the body, and then I can do my juggling thing. Um, which was going great until I caught the seam in the floor between the two panels in the center. Um, I thought it might be
Oh.
over at that
Oh
point.
my
Oh.
gosh.
Oh my
The shot.
gosh.
So
Oh
again,
my
for audio listeners,
gosh.
we are right at the moment where Strike Point has captured Kitty and is
I'm gonna
throwing down
grab
the
this
arm, and
kitty
it
real
just
quick.
Oh
sparks and
my
everything.
gosh. How it was not over right then and there is shocking. This frame is like, that is
Oh my god.
crazy.
Oh, it's insane.
Whoa.
Um, so yeah, doing the frame by frame there, you can see like right before the impact, I started getting out of the floor.
Mhm.
And because of that, I was able to back up just enough that instead of hitting motor, he hit the ear of the upright.
Oh, he comes down on the
Wow.
this
I
you
managed to
can't even
back up
tell from
just a
this
hair.
angle.
Fascinating. So I guess it's like a really good argument then, like the four-wheel drive nature of Kitty. Four different chances to touch the ground. You manage to
Mhm.
get one of the wheels touching it, and it moves it. I'm imagining like in this moment, you're probably just like trying to wail on the sticks, just like something move, do the thing,
Mm.
please no, don't let me die.
Yeah, that and also weapon throttle. Kitty can unstick herself a lot of times just with the torque reaction. It'll like yank the forks out of whatever it's stuck into. Um, but yeah, at the very last second, I'm able to back her up just enough that instead of hitting the motor, he hits the ear. Um,
Incredible.
Wow.
so
That is
still
just like,
alive. Fight could have been over in 15 seconds.
yeah, that is
Really scary.
terrifying.
Like a fight or flight response. It's just like in, you know, little time for lots of compulsive thought. It's just like I have to do a thing. This is the thing
Yeah,
I'm doing.
I have to get out of this position. He is going to end my day if I don't get out of this position.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then as well, like you're resetting too, because we're noticing here, like continuing on in the fight, after you escape the initial shot from strike point, both of you are a little bit discombobulated. You manage to sort of self-right reset. Then you get like a really nice shot off a strike point, sort of bouncing it around too, hitting its broadside. But even then, strike point being well designed, well driven, sort of begins to recover, and then it sort of continues that like sort of shark circling
Right?
game.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Another example of me messing up the self right. And
Okay.
Sean was right on top of me. He scooped me. He got me in the perfect way where, like, I don't think I could torque self right out of that.
Uh-huh.
Um, I thought I was dead here. I
Yeah.
100% thought I was dead.
Look at
Um,
your leg go back on the driver cam. You thought you were dead. Yeah.
I thought I was dead.
Yeah. Wow.
Because if his blade was spinning and he
Yeah.
took that hit, he is going at bare minimum he's hitting weapon ESC, if not going through all of my wires. And if I lost weapon ESC, like the fight's over. Like I'm not beating him without a weapon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So but that was the moment where I'm like, oh, he does not have the spinning blade. And it turned out when he hit that ear, it pulled his hub
Oh.
motor into the path of my blade, and I took out his hub
Oh,
motor in that same hit.
awesome.
Oh. So
Man, the fight or
wow.
flight.
So that first hit like determined the entire
That was
Mhm.
the
that
moment.
was the
That was
fight.
pretty much the moment.
Literally this fight was figured out in that first exchange.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
there's
Mm,
one
awesome
other
stuff.
exchange that changed the
Yeah.
course of this, and I don't know what hit it was. But I'll talk about it when we get near the end of the fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Um,
because right now, Chainsaw Kitty, seeing that now Strike Point is kind of helpless without its ability to kill Chainsaw, more just circling, uh, generally getting corralled a little bit, but also getting good broadside shots to Strike Point, sort of flipping it over every little bit there. So it ends up becoming Strike Point sort of just tanking hits, and Kitty doing the chaotic Kitty things, but also at the same time, uh, sort of tactically evading the corralling of Strike Point. So it's very much like a cagey match still, both bots still in it. The Strike Point, of course, limited, but it's still very much like a heavy control movement. Strike Point's still throwing its arm, of course, as well, but Kitty's definitely, getting those good shots, getting those good throws, accumulating damage points, all that kind of good stuff.
You
mhm.
really start to win the exchanges when you can initiate from the side and just bypass the forks altogether. I think watching this live, my first thought was like, okay, as soon as Kitty was able to engage and not lose to the forks, then the fight was over. That's
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah, definitely the side shots are the way to go, but
Mm-hmm.
also, like I was saying with all the stuff on the front, like face to face is safe for me. So like
Yeah,
it's not risky for me to like try to make a maneuver that if it fails we go face to face because that's safe.
because now the
Like
blade's down.
yeah, especially
Yeah,
with the blade down. But
yeah,
even before then, like if he's face on, he can't hit anything because of the walls, because of the
right.
titanium, and because of the blade.
S- s-
Um, so the other big detail that I didn't know at first, and I don't even know what hit it happens in. But somewhere in one of these early exchanges, I hit his battery. Um,
Oh,
Oh,
and
really?
I took out one of the four cells of the battery.
Oh, wow.
Um,
whoa!
so you'll notice during the course of this fight, he's just going slower and slower and slower because
Really?
running lower voltage than he's used to, and he's got 75% of the capacity that he's used to because I took out a cell. So
Hey,
at the end of this fight, he couldn't even drive to the door. He was battery dead dead.
Wow.
that's
Um,
probably the most incredible case of how to kill someone's battery life I've ever heard. Yeah, yeah. I just
yeah,
chaos punched through the a cell of a battery. Void
yeah.
fired though, but did make sure he lost like a quarter of his overall capacity there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see electric in the chat. Like, I also thought that I was just accumulating damage on the drive system, making it slower and slower, jamming up the shufflers just a little more and more throughout the fight. But no, I hit the battery somehow, and once again, the battery didn't blow up. I have a good track record of hitting batteries and them not exploding.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know if that's luck or not luck.
I don't know. I'm still sad Droopy didn't catch fire. I almost killed Droopy. I
That is that an invitation out to Tommy Wong to come back to the East Coast and get in her swing?
yeah, I want to take out Droopy.
Okay. Well, Tommy, you heard it here first.
I see Blaine Morrison in the chat asking how many copies of Kitty I had. I had 2 copies of Kitty, um, but I only ran one all day, because I practically didn't take damage. Um, I was going to swap to Kitty number 2 for Sunday Scaries because I had it already set up with the fort configuration. But I had a drive motor fail on me in like a test box run before the fight. So always test your robots before you throw them into a fight. Um,
Yeah, we'll
but
see how
after that,
slow
I
it's
just
moving.
yeah, it just slows down more and more throughout the fight.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, Kitty 1 never took real damage, so I just kept running it, and yeah, the ear was still bent, but against a horizontal, it was kind of a good thing. I like thanks Sean, like thanks, you just made the robot better for Caldera. Because there is a chance that a horizontal can knock the ear and bend it in a way that blocks the path of the weapon, which has happened before. But the way Sean bent it, it was bent away from the weapon. So technically, he made me stronger against Caldera.
Thank you, Sean Becker.
Thank you, Sean.
I cannot
helped.
get over this frame. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's
I'd
incredible stuff
like to
there.
find a better angle of this frame. Which one would have it?
I'm not sure.
Because
Yeah, that's mhm.
I totally love that this fight was like completely determined by a single hit. Like
Yeah.
literally. I love
It's
that.
in. This is kind of like the beauty of the sport, especially getting to go back and watch it again. So I guess NHRL, thank you, of course, for creating the Brett Star and all that, because this is the kind of review that we get to really enjoy see because it's like the world of super fast things are almost the world unto themselves because we can only see the effects later and kind of guesstimate of what's going on. But I know that obviously in this fight, brilliant example of a thing that was virtually hidden to anybody watching it live because all you saw was like a flash of light. And then maybe they saw the bent ear. But even then, Katie's moving so fast, you're focusing on strike point trying to hit you. Not like the biggest thought in the world, but maybe afterwards you kind of see it. But seeing it now, you're like, man, that was like milliseconds determine the next 2 minutes and ultimately golden dumpster run.
Wow. So he doesn't have the blade up to speed here and hesitates. Oh, pulls back,
It
seeing
lines
that
up
you're
for the
stuck.
motor.
Here you are, you're stuck in the floor. Here, the fork is
Yeah,
underneath.
so it wasn't quite the same, but almost.
Yeah, this whatever that junk is.
There, but you can
Right
see
now, looking at
Sean's
top-down view, strike point teed up to hit Kitty,
And then
and
right
it's
on the
kind of
motor.
curious.
He's lined up right for it, but
Yeah,
at the
and
last
then
second, I get this little jostle
oh look, you can see the
that
ear
feeds in the
bend.
ear.
You can see the
Yeah.
ear. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, I'm still learning. I'm still learning the
okay.
hotkeys.
we got it. We
Some
got it.
close zoom
We
in, I
got it.
guess.
We got it. Okay. So Sean pulls in here,
And
you
it kind of
do
like
see
sucks
that.
him into you as well. Interesting.
Yeah,
Because like the
and
way he's
that
striking
Yeah.
you is into pulling him forward and upwards, sort of towards you. But
yeah.
ultimately, it's pulling the blade up and away.
His blade contacts the outer the just like the bare tip of the ear here instead of going any deeper.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I can even show you
Here, wait.
on this kitty that
I
exact.
can switch over to that
If
big
it'll
hang on. Let me
focus.
transition big cam.
What angle do I have to hold this at?
Whoa! There you go.
But you can
You're
see
on
he
big cam.
just barely caught the tip of that.
Oh,
So that
Awesome
that
stuff.
made such a huge difference in how that fight went.
Yep. To any
wow.
audio listeners, you may be wondering what because I just showed. Remember to like and subscribe and rewatch the VODs to see it as well.
But yeah, so he hit the ear, which also pulled him a little more forward, which moved the hub into the path of my weapon, and I didn't know it at the time, but I took out his weapon um, at the same
Jeez.
time as that happens. So huge defining moment in that fight.
Incredible stuff.
Man.
Congrats again on that win.
Thank you.
That-
That felt good. I was really worried about Strike Point before the event even happened. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to fight Strike Point. I don't want to fight Strike Point.
That is such. Oh, dude, this
That's
sport.
the hard
This
part, I
sport.
guess.
This sport. This is what you miss. Just like, oh my gosh, the sport is the minutia of like the insanity.
Awesome stuff.
Oh,
Because
oh,
when you're,
Sean's here. Hi, Sean.
hi
Whoa, is
Sean.
that Sean?
Man, the first thing I see is my hub exploding. Oh, oh
The frame
buddy.
by frame on this interaction is crazy, Sean.
It's great
Yeah.
having you, Sean.
Welcome to
My
the
point's so
stream.
terrifying, but man, what a world! What a world!
And then while you have me on the big camera, little present from Sean.
Thank
Ooh,
you,
wow!
Sean.
Nice
Thank you,
little
Sean.
shot of the strike point arm.
It's very pretty.
Thank you,
It's very
Sean.
pretty stuff. Great machining, great designing into it as well. Great stuff overall.
You would think I'd like cause more damage with how much I was tossing him, but again, I wasn't spinning the blade very fast, so ultimately I don't think I hurt the robot a ton aside from popping that battery and the hub motor.
All it takes.
It's
It's all it takes.
it's such a strategically brilliant robot, and it shows the
Yeah.
Mhm.
quality of both robots that the defining hit was in the first exchange and could have thrown the fight one way or another. And
Yeah.
look at the
A damn
oh
hole in the floor.
yeah. And I know we've been watching this frame by frame, but watching it at full speed is kind of insane. Like this was it. Like that was the entire
It happens
exchange.
so
It's
Yeah.
fast.
so
Flash, blink
fast.
of an eye.
It is so like if you miss that, you just missed the story of this fight. That is insanity.
Yeah. And I got stuck like I had him in like, like a juggle there. Like that if I didn't get stuck in the floor, like that was another hit and I would have
Yeah, right.
just tried to keep running with it. Um but it
Incredible
almost
stuff.
ended me.
We're gonna watch this from every freaking angle. Oh yeah,
I don't
I
want to hang
love
too
fight.
long.
Oh, look at the look at the look at the ear pulled back. Okay, I can't get
Jake
over
absolutely
this.
loves this.
I feel like we could
I
watch it
do.
1.5 million times
We
if we try
can.
hard enough.
We can. Okay. Let's. Are we done with this one? All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, if you're done
My
with this
co-host
one.
is telling me we need to move on because I could watch that ear hit all night, dude. That's
Watch it
awesome.
watch
All
it
right.
once the stream's over. You can go to sleep watching that frame by frame.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NHRL bedtime stories.
So that's the fight that sent you to the final. This is your first time making it to a final, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to this I made top four one time, and
Mhm.
every other time the best I had was a fifth place. So yeah. The announcers and a lot of other people seem to think I've lost in the grand final before. I've never gotten this far. And you're giving me too much credit.
It's like
Um,
phantom success, but it's also like, a fair citation seeing how good Kitty is. Especially
Yeah.
looking at it right now as we're seeing you throw around Caldera in the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
yeah, going into this fight, I fought Caldera twice before. Knocked him out the first time, practically knocked him out the second time, but ran out of time. So I was feeling confident, but also Glenn's a really good driver. Caldera's a really consistent bot, and he can absolutely beat me. Like I have the type advantage here, but one of these days Glenn is going to take me out. But with the history and the type advantage, I was feeling fairly confident going into this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You came out of nowhere there.
Man,
So you fought Glenn before. When was that?
Twice. The first
Twice.
time, if I remember right, because they kept quoting this on stream, I think August 2023.
Okay.
It didn't get. Remember, it didn't get streamed. They ran a Oh, what's
It's in
Chris's
the ad.
persona? Clyde.
Oh, different fight.
Shoot, where he puts on the hard hat and the mustache and the
Oh,
safety
Clyde
vest.
Magnuson.
Clyde
Clyde Magnuson,
Magnuson.
thank you. They ran a Clyde Magnuson ad instead of Caldera versus Chainsaw Kitty.
Oh, oh,
Nobody got to see that fight.
Wow.
Um,
generational squabble right there. Can't believe it. Oh, and as we're looking through this fight as well, lots of good back and forth, but we also are at a point about halfway through the fight. Caldera's on its side, so the belt's knocked out of it. Kitty's got Glenn and Caldera pinned up on the wall. Looks pretty rough. I think Glenn just put down his remote too. And there we go.
That was the fight. Um,
Man, that was vicious domination.
when did you have anything kind of different going for you this fight? You know, you've made so many changes to the robot. Are you concerned about those changes going into this?
I mean, the new wedge mounting hadn't been tested. I made that wedge mount a while ago, and I just never fought like a super strong horizontal with it. So this was kind of the first real test of the wedge mounting.
Hmm.
Um, so a little concerned about that, and also this was the first time not having my mini bot, which Kitty in the wedge configuration is way more chaotic than the fork version. And you can see that in this fight. I will just bounce all over the place. And Reino is always really good
Jeez.
about getting right in the middle and like holding them off for a second while I regain my bearings. So I was definitely worried about.
Yeah, that sort of speaks the difference there. But also, gee,
Yeah.
Fred, gosh, like so to the again the audio. So like when you're looking at Kitty making an impact, right? We see first of all the spray of carbon particles being torn off of the other robot, off of Caldera in this case. But
Stupid.
A fresh new
also
hole in the floor too.
fresh and holding the floor too. But also we see Kitty like still having torque and energy to keep somersaulting forward over and over again, while Caldera has hit Jupiter at this point. So you just get this feeling of like Kitty's just like oozing power at this point, just raw excess potential, just carving through it with the big disc. Caldera, to its credit, of course, landing and still going, but like, man, Kitty's like a Tasmanian devil, like Taz from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it's so hard to get a handle on the wedges. She just wants to flip all over the place.
I love the
Um,
way that you've got those wedges mounted now. Do you wanna describe that, or is that a secret?
well, I want to change it, so
Oh no,
it's in
I
it's
really
in Dark
like
Knight,
it.
right? No, okay, so it's similar idea, but you can see this one. It doesn't really translate
Do I
over
need big
video very
cam?
well. Sort of, but
Okay.
Big Cam.
there is
Big cam.
compliance built into the wedge.
Hmm.
Um, but on the other side, Glenn got one hit, like right about there, and it broke most of the compliance feature.
Ooh,
So that wedge is not being held on by very much.
ooh,
Um,
dear.
and
Oh
it
wow.
wasn't even a super strong hit. I've definitely taken worse hits on that corner.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so that didn't work out, but
Mm.
it stayed on at least. I
I mean, it
I
looked, unaffected really from the audience perspective, I guess. Still on there.
Yeah, you can't tell looking at the footage. I've watched the footage a few times. I can't even tell what hit, like when he got that hit on the edge. But yeah, I I know what's wrong with this. I knew about this problem to begin with, and I know how to fix it. So I'm not worried about it.
Nice.
Very cool.
But yeah,
Um,
so we get to the fight. We see Kitty doing its utmost to just tear Caldera apart. Glenn, an excellent competitor, sort of bowing out to it, acknowledging the work by Kitty. So then, sort of looking at it as well, like how's your team also doing? Sort of backing you up in this fight. Like I definitely see like you're very intense. You're leaning forward, sort of have the stance, eyes dead set on it. Um,
mhm.
How's like the rest of your team like trying to sort of support you in this fight, or do you even hear them anymore? Are you still just thinking about what's going on as you're punching Caldera really, really hard? Like what's sort of the scene around you, best you can remember it?
Yeah, so most of what I'm asking Mint to do as my sort of co-driver is I need status updates on the opponent. Like, did their drive go down? Did their weapon go down? Because Kitty requires some of my focus to keep her in check. Because she's the Tasmanian devil, like you said. Like, she wants to go all over the place. I have to watch Kitty. My mental resources, I have to dedicate some of it to just keeping all four wheels on the ground. So being told what the opponent's up to is super helpful. And like I said earlier, with like the Sunday Scaries fight, I'm having her read off like the voltage to me so I can like gauge how hard I can push the weapon. Can I make it the full 3 minutes like this? Do I have to tone it down? Um, that's the majority of what she's doing, on top of like yelling at me if I'm being stupid and too aggressive and doing dumb stuff, which is super helpful because I guess I also mentioned earlier, I get kind of bullheaded and just hit him with the big stick. That's all I got to do. Big stick. Not always the play.
Understandable. You hate them like hitting them like that. It's very good. Like it's what is it? I
Yeah.
remember the I think it's the I don't think it's Jeremy Clarkson line. It might be though. But it's like if every no, it can't be Jeremy. Whatever. It's like if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So I imagine
Yeah.
Kitty is like an enormous hammer, just hitting everything.
Yeah.
And only question is
But
like, where's the next nail?
yeah. But as you can see in like the strike point fight, like she is more than just a big hitting weapon. It does
Mhm.
require me to drive differently than I normally
Huge.
do.
Absolutely.
But it's something I tried to put some focus on adjusting to this event, and I think it paid off. Um, and you can see it in this fight as well. I basically have two distinct driving modes that I'm doing in this fight. Um, when his weapon's going, my weapon's at full throttle. I'm driving really slow, really accurately, making sure I'm perfectly lined up. But every time his weapon's down, I'm slowing the weapon down a little bit and I'm just gunning it into him for the hardest hits I possibly can, maximum bite.
I,
Um,
I'm curious why his belt went down. I can't seem to tell from the overhead. Did you bend the blade into the belt?
I don't know exactly what happened. I know he was having some weapon reliability issues this event. I saw it kind of go up and down in some of his other fights. Not entirely sure what's up with that, but it went down and then it came back
Jeez.
up, and then I took off the belt.
The lights turn blue, and it's like an instantaneous response on your. Like when he
Yeah, I
calls for that
was.
on stick, it is
Mhm.
immediate that you hit him. Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
was I was I was watching him.
Yeah.
You can't really tell too much on this angle, but I was watching him and I was waiting for him to start making the hand motion towards the box. And as soon as I saw him, like the hand was like over the box, pull the trigger. And yeah, it is almost like a frame perfect blue light hit, which is really funny. But yeah,
That
there
is.
you go. There's your on stick, Glenn. Have fun.
I just respect the amount of like skill that takes to like out of your peripheral watch your opponent call for the unstick and then pull trigger as soon as they hit the box. I mean that is just like that is such a testament to the skill that goes behind like driving these robots at a high level. And when you see it, it's just like gorgeous. Yeah, here this is what I wanted to see.
Oh, when he loses the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just assuming I deflected the blade enough in that
Oh.
hit that it cut belt.
Oh, look, your
Because
wedge is broken here.
yeah, it definitely, I mean, this was the last like weapon on weapon hit, so definitely happened before this. I just don't know exactly what hit it happened.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I thought I might be able to see something from the blue cam, but I got nothing.
Mm.
Yeah. But even so, still an excellent demonstration in like prime chainsaw kitty fights. Like when Kitty comes to the box, this is the kind of fight I usually see out of it. Just like insane weapon by throwing other robots in the air, roofings every now and again, and Kitty like tossing and turning. But then like at some point, the other poor robot's just like a little chew toy. It's just like please let the poor thing go.
That's what she loves to do.
She loves to do it.
She's my little ball of chaos, and I try my best to keep it a little bit controlled.
I,
Absolutely lovely.
this is, by the way, this is a live reaction. This is Ashley. This is Jake, and then Jaren comes into frame here in a second.
Everyone is just
Dude,
jumping up and
we're
down.
stoked.
Absolutely bananas.
Dude, we're stoked. I love that. I love
Voices
that
shot.
so much.
Tears also forming at
Tears.
the same time.
The energy
Oh,
was insane after this win. That was wild.
Absolutely great stuff. And then, of course, have to therefore say it again, just acknowledge it. Congratulations on the
Yes.
first golden
Yeah.
dumpster.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
phenomenal. So proud. So glad
Absolutely.
to see it. Well earned.
Absolutely.
Quite the journey to get there, too.
Every day I
Oops.
pick it up, I give it a little pat, and I go, "Oh my God, it's real! Oh my God, I did that!"
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. There's the beautiful thing.
I have to remind
Beautiful.
myself,
The
like, "Oh yeah,
beautiful.
this is not a figment of my imagination."
No, I do the same thing. I kept my first golden dumpster in my bed, like at the foot of my bed. Whenever I wake up every morning, it's like, the day may be rough. I got a golden dumpster.
Got this one, yeah. No, it was sitting like dead center of like I have another desk over here that's just for working on robot stuff. I had it sitting there for a while, just every time I touched robot, there it was. I moved it because I was worried I was gonna hit it with something, but for a while that's where it was living.
Yeah. No, excellent stuff.
Okay. Do you want to do a little break and then we'll wrap it up? Is that okay?
Yep, we'll do one last break, try to hit one or
Yeah.
two more questions, and then close out with robots around the world. So see you after the
Awesome.
break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Transition.
right, welcome back. Back from the short little break there. I wanted to hit a few more questions. I apologize to anybody else who were unable to hit some of your questions, but at the same time, I also wanted to make sure that we sort of hit a few of them left and then close it out with robots around the world. So here we go. So, one question from Anthony and Dubis. This is a little fun one to sort of lead us into it. Do you think your performance would be better or worse if it was the well-rested anime girl club instead of the sleepy anime girl club?
It would have a totally different vibe. I don't think it'd be the same.
Interesting, interesting. Are you imagining like would
I think
Chainsaw Kitty be less aggressive? Would it be like more chilled out now? They got like a full 8 hours, or
uh, you know, part of my pre-fight routine is calming myself down. Like before almost every fight, I'd be like, hug me. Somebody just soothe me, please. Just I'm trying to keep the energy level down so I don't just get anxious and jittery. So maybe being well rested wouldn't be great. I'd have too much energy.
that could be a fun alternate universe for sure. That could be going on there. And then, oop, I just lost my place. You need to give me a quick second to find the thing again. I just had it. Uh, oh, sorry. All right. All right, we got there. We got there. We're gonna get there. All right. So then, this one from Max, who builds out. With your first but not last event win secured, what robot or builder would you most like to see take home a golden dumpster next?
Ooh. That's a tough one. Who do I
Call
really
it.
want to see do that? Call that? I don't have anybody right off the top of my head. That's a tricky one.
And when we get DraftKings for NHRL, this question is going to go crazy.
When we hit peak dystopia, when we have the Red Bull money, when we're able to just retire off NHRL money alone.
You know what I really want to see? I want to see a pause dumpster. That's what I want to see.
Was
That's right,
Tom
Tom.
Farkas
Lock
dumpster.
in.
I want to see the Tom Farkas.
Lock in, Mr. Farkas.
Mr. Farkas, you got to lock in right now.
You
Just
got to
letting you know
start
because I
sweating.
called it.
I just want you to think, like, how amazing would that run be? Like, to see Pause just sweep through a bracket, 7 straight wins, all knockouts.
No, that could be puts us on ESPN forever. You know,
That
they're
would-
like, wait a minute, pause. Want a dumpster off of that one? All right,
Try
give 'em
to
a deal.
explain that
8
in a
seasons
TikTok.
guaranteed. TikTok is gonna win.
Try to tell that story in a TikTok. He needed freaking 2 hours to explain that.
Yeah.
And so my final one here is not a question. It is simply a statement. This is from Ashley, mother of Toon Defective. She just wants to say she's very, very proud of you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, everyone, for the questions. We'll probably work on getting a bit more of these in next time, but thank you all to all who submitted. But this time, we're going to head into our new segment about robots around the world. And so first, I wanted big thanks to Chris DeSico for sharing this story, plucked it directly from the NHRL Discord channel, which he posted before he did announcements for it. So thank you, Chris. You saved my butt. This week, we travel to China, where Unitree is planning to live stream the world's first humanoid boxing stream. The Unitree G1 is a humanoid robot that stands 1.32 meters tall, weighs 35 kilograms, which is some amount in U.S. things, and features advanced computing power and smooth motion control. Considered the company's flagship humanoid robot, the G1 was designed to operate in environments challenging for humans, offering enhanced flexibility, agility, and compact form, according to Unitree. The idea is that this robot is going to be fighting against other robots just like it, and in a promo video, it was shown fighting another human, though it was much slower, less agile, but it did noticeably recover very, very quickly after being knocked down. Unitree has not announced the exact timing about what's going for the air date in which robots in their fleet were going to be fighting outside the G1, but still, their first live stream humanoid robot fight. So, gang, what do we think about the boxing? I'll admit though, with like real steel, I kind of thought like robot boxing would come sooner, but I think we're getting there.
Finally. And I welcome that as an alternative to human boxing. Unlike the previous stewards of this show, I welcome our robot overlords. So that's good. That's good information for me. I like that.
What do you think of that?
I'm pretty partial to the robots with wheels. I think they've been doing pretty good.
See, that's the thing, right? Because my thought is, if the robots are trying to walk like humans, then it's versatile, and I guess it like gets around like they're saying before, with like in different areas and all that. But could you
Hmm.
imagine how fast they could move with just like wheels and a steady base?
Yeah, like
Like, yeah,
it just doesn't work out in reality. Gundams look super cool, but just tank treads will do the same thing, but just better.
yeah. And And I think about like well, I remember I think it was yeah, it was like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. I remember everybody like the not the main event with Paul and Tyson, which was a little sad. Mike Tyson's getting old, surprise, surprise. But the fight before then, there was two women. I forget their names sadly, but they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I remember like in their fight, I was like, "Oh, this is like peak." Like if I were a fighting fan, I'm sure this is probably like a technically beautiful battle.
Yeah.
And and I'm kind of curious about the thoughts of like, does that mean in 30 years would we be seeing like the equivalent of Chainsaw Humanoid Kitty fighting like Maximizer Senior or Junior, whatever, like fist fighting at that kind of like speed? Like, is that like on the list of activities of who lose the job? That's an interesting one to go after, I guess.
When we're all 50, 60 years old and they wheel us back out to like fight the young kids in the sport and get our get beat, that's when we know we've made it, And it's not like Mike didn't make any money off that, so we're in good hands. Either way, we're set for life, dog. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Oh, is that
easy.
that's our secret. So when
Yeah.
it's like when Brandon Bennett old
Yeah.
is running the show,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
And they're
man,
going to
Vorion is gonna be absolutely done for.
Yeah, and they're gonna
Like,
wheel you out and make you fight some young TikToker or whatever the medium is. Then I'm sure we'll go shorter and shorter form, just whatever millisecond clip chimp farmer is out there.
so when
That's
I
what it'll
get
be
when I get
like.
to
That's what
fight
you have to
when I
look
get to
forward
fight
to.
Metalhead 007, who's like who can claims that they can be the best. BattleBots is old and it was a hack,
Yeah,
and they wheel me out, and I'm just like, listen, kid, you don't know, you have no idea about the ancient ways of our ancestors.
you're
This
gonna
is
have.
what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna
Yeah,
settle it. Like, all right, bring out your G1. I'll see you in the ring.
exactly, exactly.
And you know what? Because Chris was the guy who found this story for us. So first of all, thank you to Chris. I will share what he just I will share what he shared to us. Boxing robots is the perfect subject for a good punchline.
Thanks.
Box.
Well, that's about it for the show today.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Keziah, for coming out here.
Thank you,
Thanks
Keziah.
for
Absolutely,
having me.
hugely thankful for you coming out here, being able to help us figure this whole thing out and all the different quirks with it. And once again, congrats on the Golden Dumpster.
Thank you very much.
I'm checking the GCal to see when we're scheduled next. We have a GCal, by the way. That's short for Google Calendar. If you're new here,
Thank you.
For the hip and happening kids out here.
yeah, I'm just
Translate
using
note.
slang. I'm just using slang, guys. We will be back May 13th, which is the week after May NHRL and RCL. Brandon Bennett Old is going to RCL and informed me that he will be bringing a lapel mic. So if you're going to RCL, is this true?
I mean, yeah, it's on the way.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
I'm
mean, it's just
jumping the
got to
gun.
arrive. It's
Okay,
on the way.
okay,
We're doing a thing. We're doing a thing. We're doing a thing. Trying the best to do a thing.
okay, cool. And then I will
You
be
are not
fighting.
disinformation in real time. You're good.
Am I leaking? I'm sorry.
No,
Am I
no, 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 no,
disclosing?
no, no, no. That
Okay.
is in fact part of the plan.
Okay.
The only thing I don't want to happen is if I get swarmed. I hope not. Don't swarm me. I'll be trying to fight. I'll be out west trying to fight with Phenomenon. Trying to do my best against the West. They're pretty strong though, so time will tell how I do. But hopefully that means that we should have some very, very fun stuff to go through for the May event between NHRL and RCL.
Cool. And then I am all things willing, going to fight next week. I'm having some internal stress about that. Getting gearboxes in from China. We will see if they come in time. If they come in time, I will be fighting next week. Robot's looking beautiful right now, except for that. So I'm pretty stoked about that. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you to Kezia again. Goodbye. Bye, all.